Rangers win, baby, 6-3 over the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Rangers now are on a 6-game heater. It's feeling nice. It's feeling nice here. This was a game that was a lot closer than it probably should have been when it was all said and done. However, the Rangers end up picking up the 2 points yet again, and this is what I've been talking about. They need to just grab the 2 points right now. It may not be pretty necessarily every single night, but they are grabbing the 2 points, which is what's necessary. To me, I've kind of taken the realization that I want to listen, as much as I want to see them play quality hockey, we all do, right? I'm more concerned right now about them grabbing the 2 points and then heating up by the playoffs. If they play like this, even though they're winning come playoff time, then, or around playoff time, I should say, then yeah, there's definitely a cause for concern. But for right now, it's December. I'm going to be happy about this, and we should be. And this is a game that wasn't necessarily awful, in my opinion, by the Rangers. I thought they played actually some pretty solid hockey throughout most of this game. There was just a couple things that you didn't like, where Halak had to stand on his head at points in this game, which can't believe I was saying that, considering there was a lot that was his fault as well. But we're going to talk further about all of this. Before we do, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. We cover the Rangers heavily here on the channel, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But let's talk about this, as the Rangers ended up getting some chances early. Philip Hedl had a nice move to the net, ended up fanning on that opportunity, and the Rangers would end up trailing early, which is what's also shocking, because they actually got some chances early, and they were in the offensive zone for most of the first period. They just were missing the net on a lot of chances, kind of like how Toronto played against us last game, right? Toronto, they had a lot of offensive zone time, but just missed the net. And like I said, yeah, it ended up being Philadelphia who gets on the board first. Harper ended up trying to get a scoring chance there in the offensive zone, and then a 3-on-2 came the other way, and the Flyers kind of got a weird bounce around the boards, and JVR gets it right on his stick. JVR then buries it past Halak. Halak probably needs to get that one, but at the same time, the entire team just with an absolutely lazy back check on that effort there, as Harper was still slow to get back. The forwards were nowhere near the play. It was a little bit slow of a back check for my liking there, but they go down 1-0, and I was a little worried, I won't lie. But then the Rangers started to get more chances. Kravtsov deflected a Schneider pass that almost went in. Halak then had to make a save come the other way. Tippett then got a chance in front as Schneider didn't cover him at all. Halak with a big save. Again, he starts making some big saves. Fox then put one on goal, and VC tipped it wide. Then the Rangers would end up tying the game, as a beautiful passing sequence here in the neutral zone. And Barclay Goodrow just makes a beautiful pass after getting it from Mika Zibanejad to Panarin, who comes flying down the ice, and Panarin snipes it home on the empty net past Carter Hart. 1-1 game, and the Rangers continued to play some quality hockey there. Trocheck and Kreider got a 2-on-1. Trocheck fired high on that. Fox then went off for holding, and the Rangers got a couple good looks shorthanded there. But that was the end of the first, and I thought they played a pretty decent period for the most part there. Shots were 8-8 by the end of that one. Second period got a little bit more crazy here, as the Rangers, they finish off the penalty kill to start things. Panarin then hit the post on a shot. Harper then ended up going off for delay game. This is where it gets worrisome, because, oh my God, the amount of penalties that they took, just a mountain of them tonight. Granted, I think that one of the calls was soft, which we'll talk about later on, but Harper, like I said, goes off for a delay game. Trouba failed to clear the puck twice on the penalty kill, and Halak had to come up with some big saves. Trouba did not have a great night. We're going to talk further about that. Miller then takes a cross-checking penalty, and Halak came up with some big saves, and they end up killing both penalties, and the Rangers gain momentum after that, as Keandre Miller, my God, out of the box, makes a beautiful defensive play on Travis Sanheim at the blue line. He ends up just flying up the ice, gets tripped, gets back up, and still buries it around Carter Hart to make it a 2-1 game. What a beautiful goal that was by Keandre Miller. Highlight reel level stuff there, and the Rangers continue to put the pressure on that. The Cato line had a pretty good shift, and the Rangers ended up scoring not too long after, as Panarin makes a nice little pass over to Zibanejad. Zibanejad hits Barclay Goodrow, who comes in crashing the net, makes it a 3-1 game, and all of a sudden we're feeling good. All right, we're feeling good, and then we have where it gets just ridiculous, as Kreider got a breakaway opportunity, and it looks like it went in, but apparently the puck didn't fully cross the goal line, which I'm trying to understand. Do they not have access to the same replays we do at home? Because I could have sworn I saw white between the puck and the goal line. I don't know if I'm biased or crazy there, but could have swore I saw white there. But the Rangers did get a power play at the very least, right? Right? Trocheck ends up drawing a penalty there. Let's see what they could do. And Panarin makes a no-look backhand pass to Adam Fox. Oh, intercepted by Scott Laughton, and he carries it up, and he gets a breakaway and buries it past Yaroslav Halak. 3-2 game, and the power play continued to just let Philadelphia get more chances. Embarrassing power play, an embarrassing end of the period. They got outshot 14-11 in that period. I'm not going to kill them for that because a lot of it was spent on the PK that period, and it was a lot of special teams, but shorthanded goal can't happen. It gave Philly some momentum there, and thankfully Halak made a couple big more saves there that he had to. And you can't take some of those penalties. You just can't. And that's the one gripe that I had with the Rangers tonight. They took way too many penalties. If I had to say one thing that I did have a gripe with. Also, Jacob Trouba, who got burnt again at the blue line, allowed a 2-on-1 to come the other way to start the third period. Thankfully, the pass didn't connect. But the Rangers would end up scoring first in the third period as Kreider dumps it down. Carter Hart turns it over to Vinny Trocheck. Trocheck then passes it over to Jimmy Vesey. Vesey snipes one past Hart, and that was an absolute beaut of a shot. 4-2 game. Halak then makes another big save, and then I don't understand this guy because Morgan Frost then just throws a weak shot from the blue line, and that goes by Yaroslav Halak somehow. 4-3 game. Miller then got a chance alone in front, no, not Miller. Mika got a chance alone in front, and he decides to not shoot it, and for whatever reason, tries to crash the net there and deke around Carter Hart for whatever reason. You have one of the best shots on the team, if not the best shot on the team. Shoot the puck, Mika. Miller then makes a nice defensive play on Konechny, and then they call a slashing penalty on Trocheck. I don't know about that one, sir. I thought that was a soft call. Just a weak little slash, and it wasn't even really a slash. He kind of just made a nice defensive play, and they call it one. And thankfully, the Rangers were up to the task. They kill the penalty, and Jacob Trouba, who just tries to clear it, the puck goes down as slow as ever, and he ends up burying it on the empty netter. 5-3 game. Okay. We'll take it. And then the Rangers get another goal as Ryan Lindgren gets credited with the goal. D'Angelo ends up whacking at Kakko's stick, and it probably would have been an empty net goal. I don't know why Lindgren gets credit with the goal, but sure. And that ends up being the game. 15-10, outshot them in the third. In the game, they outshot the Flyers 34-32 faceoff percentage, 52-48 in favor of the Rangers, which, yeah, Philip Hedl definitely kind of tanked that face-off dot percentage, let's say that, because how many times did Lafreniere have to step in the face-off dot for Philip Hedl tonight because of how bad he was? I mean, it was embarrassing. Special teams both went 0-4, both sides of things, although the Flyers ended up, of course, getting that shorthanded goal. 22-20 in favor of the Flyers for hits. Block shots, 18-11 in favor of the Rangers, and giveaways, 5 for the Rangers, 15 for the Flyers. Yeah, I think that sums that one up perfectly because, man, the Flyers are bad. They turn the puck over like crazy. So let's discuss lines. The first line, I loved it tonight. And I talked about it on the podcast. If you didn't listen to the last episode of the Ranger Talk podcast, go listen to it now. It's still not that outdated, so go listen to it. I discussed that I wanted to see more from that first line because you're getting contributions from the third line and the kid line. Let's see more from that line, and oh boy, did we get contributions from that line. Panarin had a great game outside of that behind the back pass, no-look pass there, which I absolutely hated. Outside of that, he had a really good game, though. Artemi Panarin played great and really controlled the play, and he had 4 shots on goal. He was confident with the puck. 2 points on the night. Very happy with Artemi Panarin's game. I thought he played one of his better games of the season, even though, again, he had that turnover. Zibanejad played a great game too. 62% the faceoff dot. Very happy with what I saw from him. Outside of him not shooting the puck there when he was all alone for that opportunity. Thought he played a great game. And then Barker Goudreau had a really good game. Barker Goudreau had a great game. Made some nice defensive plays, especially on the penalty kill. He came up big there when the Rangers really needed him to. So very happy with Barker Goudreau's play. A guy that I'm very critical of, which you guys know. I was happy with this play. I really was. So not a lot to complain there. The kid line, they don't end up getting a point, but I thought they played great tonight. I thought that Lafreniere had a very solid game tonight overall. Not disappointed with his game. Only had one shot on goal, but he was noticeable. Same goes for Kakko and Hedl, especially Hedl. Hedl has just been really noticeable. If he could just be better in the faceoff dot, that would really be the next step to his game, which I still view him more as a winger, if anything. I've really felt strongly that way about Hedl, but regardless, outside of him being piss poor in the faceoff dot, he had a really good game. No complaints there at all. He was noticeable, and he was definitely the best part of that line. No question there. Third line continues to be great. I love this third line. Kreider, Trocheck, and VC. I love this third line so much. They just read each other's games, and they complement each other so well. And Trocheck and Kreider just, especially those two, they go so well together. Trocheck going 55% in the faceoff dot. He had a really good game, and he was doing it on both ends of the puck tonight. Kreider doing it offensively mostly tonight. He had a really good game, and then VC as well. Really happy with all of their games. The fourth line, though, not great. I wasn't too pleased with the fourth line. Kravtsov, Brzezinski, and then Blake came back in. Blake, though, actually didn't have an awful game when it came to the offensive side of things. He had a nice little backhanded shot that he almost buried. He almost got his first goal tonight, which is something that we could celebrate a bit, give a little bit of a round of applause, I guess, too, which I guess we're there with Blake. But he had a decent game when it came to the offensive side of things, but not happy still overall. I thought that fourth line got pinned in the defensive zone way too much, but they did generate some offensive opportunities. I thought Kravtsov was really good. I thought Brzezinski was pretty good as well. But again, too many times where they were pinned in the D zone because they weren't winning enough faceoffs, specifically Brzezinski there. But not too mad, not too happy. They were probably the worst line, but it's not like they were egregious tonight. So that's all I have to say on the fourth line. The defense, Lindgren had a unreal game tonight. He was so good on the defensive side of things. And he had, of course, with the goal credited to him. But 6 block shots. The guy is an absolute warrior. And he continues to get it done defensively and continues to make underrated plays. Adam Fox, great game from him as well. There was this one play that he made, I think it was in the first period, to keep the puck alive at the blue line. I'm like, man, how does he do it? How does he do it? And he does things that it's just incredible every night. And he continued it. Loved Adam Fox's game. Really great from his behalf. Trouba and Miller. I thought Trouba had a rough game yet again. There was a lot of times in the notes, as you heard, where he gets a little bit cooked on defense there, and odd man rushes came the other way. He was slow on back checks. Didn't necessarily like Trouba's game, but he got his first of the season, first as captain as well. So whatever. I don't think it was intentional at the same time, but it is what it is. But yeah, not a lot that I liked from Trouba. Miller had a great game, though. That goal that he scored, absolutely unreal. Covering up a lot for Jacob Trouba's mistakes. And that defensive play that he made in the third period, like I mentioned, really great on Travis Konechny. Beautiful play there. And yeah, I was very pleased with Miller's game. I think he's just getting better and better as it goes along in his career, which the only way it should be going is up his game, considering how young he is still. And then for Harper and Schneider, I thought they were the worst defensive pair, but they weren't necessarily awful. Schneider had a couple plays that I didn't like in this game. Like I said, I think in the first or second period it was where he left the guy alone in front. Didn't like that. There was a couple of other plays that he made, a couple questionable plays, but outside of that, he wasn't too awful tonight, but definitely one of his worst games than what we've seen as of lately. That is for sure. And then Harper, he had a noticeably bad game. I mean, he had one shot on goal. It felt like the guy shot the puck 7 times. He missed the net so much tonight. Harper was kind of brutal tonight, but I don't know why he was shooting the puck as much as he was also, considering the fact that he's not him like that. I don't know, but it is what it is there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the game. You play Chicago tomorrow. Weird back-to-back that you play Chicago and then you go to Pittsburgh. You'd think it would be Pittsburgh on the back-to-back and then we'd end up going to Chicago, but sure. So, interesting one, and Igor's getting the start there. So, yeah. Questions now. Let's see what we got on Twitter. Mika the Cried says, does Lindgren deserve more respect defensively? Yeah, I think so. I really think so. He's so underrated defensively, and he's a warrior, like I said. He blocks the shots. He makes such little plays that just go unnoticed. I love Ryan Lindgren's play. I have his jersey over there on the wall for a reason. He's one of those great players on the team, and there's a lot of questions about him being a cap casualty after this year with that $3 million cap hit. I find it hard to replace a guy like him. I know his game, the way he plays, isn't going to age well, but I feel like you got to keep him for this contract. He's just so good, in my opinion, and he complements Fox well. And we've seen Fox struggle without him at times, so it's like, do we really want to let go of him? I don't think so, but that's just my opinion. Smooth ROA says, I'm glad we won, but we went even in the offensive zone with a team for whom scoring isn't a priority and who their top scorer was healthy scratch. Should something change? I don't necessarily agree too much with that in terms of them. Like, yeah, it might have statistically been even, but it felt more like the Rangers had the opportunities in this game. And it felt more like the Rangers kind of let up that time in the offensive zone because, one, they got killed with special teams. They had to be on the penalty kill so many times. Two, the empty net at the end of the game. And three, they also were kind of just trying to play more of a defensive game towards the end of things. And they weren't really heavy forechecking, heavy playing offense, which if there's one thing I'd like for them to change, it's to not sit back after getting these leads because you're not necessarily good at holding on to these leads. I'd like for them to not get too confident and try to hold it. Well, obviously, I'd like for them to hold it. I mean, just sit back and play defense with trying to hold it. I'd like for them to stay to their game and chip in a couple more goals if they can. And then you could, once you have like a 3-goal lead, then play some defensive hockey. But still, I don't really see much that needs to change right now. You're on a 6-game heater, and they haven't been awful in the majority of the games, in my opinion. I thought the St. Louis one, they were kind of rough, and I think Binnington kind of bailed them out. Colorado and Vegas, I thought they played some good games there. Even though Colorado, they probably should have beat up more than they did, I still thought they played some good games there. And then for New Jersey, I thought that was a good win as well. And Toronto, pretty solid win. You could maybe argue that Toronto played better, but still, I'm not going to kill them for most of these wins. I don't know how much you could really change right now. BD3 says, what are they putting in VC cereal? Kit Kats. The Kit Kat legend. That's all I could say there. And then Denisa says, despite how good VC's been, I still find it weird and low-key disappointing that he got more ice time than the kid line. What do you think has contributed to the win streak, especially since a couple weeks ago we were calling for Gallant to be fired? Good question here. So I think that with VC, we'll start with that part of things. I think that VC just got more of the ice time because he's been playing well, first of all. Second, he also had to be on the penalty kill a lot. We have to remember that, again, he's on the penalty kill. They had to kill a lot of penalties. And yeah, he had like 3 minutes of his time was shorthanded tonight. So subtract that, and he's a little more even. And maybe the kid line gets a couple more shifts there if they're not shorthanded most of the game. So I'm not going to crucify Gallant there for that. And I think VC's been playing well enough to the point that third line general's been playing well enough to the point where I'm not going to kill Gallant for that. I think that it makes sense. You're trying to win. So I'm not going to kill him for that. But what has contributed to the win streak? So this is a weird question because there's a couple things. I think the kid line has been outstanding and they didn't contribute tonight. The first line, they need to get going. They did tonight. You're getting contributions from different lines every night, and I think that's definitely the key. You're getting consistency from that third line, that is for sure, which is really helping you. But when you're not getting contributions from the kid line. You're getting it from the first line. When you're not getting it from the first line, you're getting it from the kid line. The third line's giving it every night. And even the fourth line, I think, is doing pretty solid offensively at times. They're not chipping in for goals, but they're still doing good enough offensively. I'd like to see Gauthier back there instead of Blais. That's just my opinion. But I think the win streak is also just because of the fact that Igor Shesterkin's kind of been back to form as of lately. So I think that's a big reason, which, by the way, I forgot to mention for Halak's game. I thought he played pretty good, all things considered. Letting a couple questionable goals, but it is what it is. 3 from your backup isn't awful, so I'm not too mad there. But yeah, if I had to say for the win streak, that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say about the win streak there and what it's got to turn around. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. How are you guys feeling about this 6-game heater? How are you guys feeling about this game? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. Want to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe as well if you did enjoy. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. And I'll see you guys in the next one tomorrow for Chicago's game. Let's go, Rangers.